What happens when a kindergarten feeds children food with 2,000 times the legal limit of lead? Yes, 2,000 times. And no one notices until it's too late. In early 2025, parents in a quiet city in China began to notice something strange. Their children changed. They stopped eating, cried all the time, had constant diarrhea, and some of them, their gums turned black. At first, no one connected the dots, but by June, test results started coming in. One child, then two, then dozens. Over 200 children were found to have lead poisoning, enough to damage their brain development for life. The kindergarten was called Peixin Kindergarten, located in Tianshui, Gansu. What could possibly cause this? The truth was worse than anyone expected. According to the official investigation, the school kitchen had been illegally adding paint into the children's food. Yes, it's non-edible paint that contains deadly levels of lead. How deadly? Tests showed more than 1 gram per kilo of lead in the food. That's 2,000 times was legally allowed in China. The government said the kindergarten's bosses told the kitchen workers to buy colorful paint online. Then they mixed that paint into the food to make it more appealing. So what happened to the people responsible? The kitchen workers were arrested. The school managers too. But this only raised more questions. Why would they do this? Was it to save money? But that doesn't add up. Here is why. Food-grade coloring is cheap, even cheaper than non-edible colorful paint. And then comes the biggest mystery. The amount of lead found in the food was insanely high. To reach that level, you'd need to mix 11 kilos of paint into just 1 kilo of food. Think about that. Is that even food anymore? Is it food with a bit of paint or paint with a little bit of food? To calm public anger, the local government released surveillance footage. It claimed to show workers adding paints into the food, but the footage had no date, no timestamp. Could it have been staged? Many people thought so, and soon citizens began to investigate on their own. They discovered something shocking. Just a few kilometers from the kindergarten, there is a lead zinc processing station. It might be leaking heavy metals into the water and the soil nearby. And it wasn't the first time. Years ago, another lead factory in that city polluted a nearby village. The children there also poisoned. So now a chilling theory emerged. Was this whole paint in the kitchen story just a cover-up? Were the real culprits protected? Was the kindergarten just a scapegoat? Critics said the local government never revealed what kind of paint was used. No supplier info, no timeline, no receipts, nothing. Then, a well-known Chinese food safety expert named Ji Feixin stepped in. Using science, he recreated the poisoned food. He believed the paint was industrial dye called lemon chrome yellow, just one word different from the safe food coloring, lemon yellow. This dye contains up to 50% lead. A small amount of this dye could produce the exact lead levels found in the food. It had no strong smell, looked appealing, and it was deadly. But it gets worse. This toxic dye is sold online in China with no warning. If you search for yellow food coloring, the industrial dye shows up right next to the food-safe ones. And guess what? The industrial version is much cheaper. If you don't know chemistry, it's easy to buy the wrong one. That's likely what the kitchen workers did. They searched for yellow food coloring, found the cheaper option and used it. If it really was lemon chrome yellow, then we are not just talking about lead poisoning, because chromium in lemon chrome yellow is much more toxic than lead, and it can cause cancer. And don't forget the role of online shopping sites. In many countries, you need a special license to buy industrial chemicals. In China, anyone can buy them online. No checks, no questions asked. That's how a deadly dye ended up in a kindergarten kitchen. And here is the most terrifying part. This isn't the only case. In the reviews for some online stores selling lemon chrome yellow, some buyers implied they used the same toxic dye to make roast goose or yellow chicken. So what does this tell us? It tells us that in some parts of the world, a deadly mix of ignorance, greed, and lack of regulation can poison the most innocent among us. Over 200 children with damaged brains, damaged futures, all because someone didn't know or didn't care. And maybe because someone wanted to hide the truth. Let us know your thoughts into the comments, and don't forget to share this story. Because silence is what lets tragedies like this happen again. That's all Tech Knows. See you next time.